Politics is taking center stage this week on both the national and local level. Governor Ron DeSantis is in the spotlight for bringing home Florida's National Guard troops after they were put into a parking garage near the Capitol last week. And former State Senate President Mike Haridopolos is joining us live this morning to talk about that and a whole lot of other stuff. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and by the way, I'm available to be the candy taster in case anyone's wondering. I'm available for that anytime.
Do you have a least favorite, though? Is there one you won't try?
You know what's funny? I heard you guys talk about licorice. I love the red licorice, the best.
Yeah, me.
That's my favorite candy, believe it or not. Not the black stuff. I don't like the black licorice either.
Yeah, it's a little bitter. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about this decision to bring back the National Guard troops. And Governor DeSantis wasn't the only one. The governor of Texas made the same call. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, it was really disrespectful what happened. Here are these folks literally disrupting their lives once again to serve our country, doing the right thing. And the day after the ceremony, they get relegated to the parking garage, which was in a cold night in Washington. I thought it was really disrespectful. And I think it was a smart move by the governor to bring our troops back home and say, you know what? We know you're valued here in Florida. We know your employers want you back home anyway. Since there's no major disruptions now in Washington, let's bring you home, be safe, and of course be warm as well down here in Florida.
Let's talk about Medicaid changes during the pandemic. There are more Medicaid cases. How is the Florida legislature dealing with this program right now?
It's a big issue, as we can only imagine, with the terrible health crisis we're under. But the good news is, before President Trump left office, he agreed to give Florida $1.5 billion to help with its Medicaid issues. As you know, Medicaid is the most expensive part of our state budget, over $30 billion a year. And that $1.5 billion shot in the arm will really help out because of the increased need in the state. And also the idea that we're a flexible state, meaning our Medicaid system is not a one-size-fits-all. It's flexible because Miami, let alone Melbourne or Orlando or Pensacola, are not exactly identical. And so by having that flexibility, it should help not only with the numbers, but also meet the needs of each community. So
the goal behind that money is just to keep the program flowing, going? What's sort of the reason behind that huge amount?
It's a mixture of both. You know, Florida is one of those unique states with not only a large senior population, but a large young person population as well. And so you want to make sure those kids are covered. And what Medicaid is primarily is to help women and their children who are making less than the wage we'd like to see, that what we call the living wage, and help them provide health care in an everyday setting. And of course, hospital services if that's required as well.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about the start of the Biden presidency. We're only, a couple days into it. Really less than a week into it right now. What are some of the things that are really striking you as his top priorities?
You know, I was a little disappointed. Ryan and I spoke last week about these opening days. We're hoping he'd take a more bipartisan approach of really healing the country, bringing it together. Instead, we're seeing the impeachment trial move forward. We've seen the United States joining the Paris Climate Accords, which is going to cost a lot of money for the taxpayers that send it around the world. And finally, ending the Keystone Pipeline means tens of thousands of workers are out of jobs. So I think a lot of people were surprised that those are his first moves with executive orders. We're all still optimistic that we can meet this challenging goal of 100 million people in 100 days getting the vaccine. But the good news here in Florida is we just found out over 1 million people have had the vaccine, especially those who are most vulnerable over the age of 65. But it's a challenge, and let's hope that the president takes a more bipartisan look, because I think that could be a real success. We have a really bipartisan Senate, especially here in Florida. It's yielded success. We need to have that same spirit in Washington more than ever.
All right, Mike Haridopolos, always a pleasure to talk to you. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.
To you as well. Thanks, Amy.